Hello, everyone. It's Monday, March 16th, and it seems with every new day, every new hour, there comes a new development regarding the coronavirus, COVID-19. Last night, the CDC issued a recommendation that gatherings of 50 persons or more should be canceled or postponed. And our mayor and governor have said that we ought to abide by that recommendation. And that changes the plan we had as a church just at the end of last week. So I've sent out a new email with a revised plan, and you can find it on our Facebook page as well. But I wanted to take a minute to say, think about what God may be teaching us, what God may want to remind us of, what God may be giving us an opportunity for during this time. Well, what might God be teaching us? Well, one of the first things that comes to mind, and maybe it's too obvious to all of us, is that we are not in control of our own lives as we think we are. Any kind of disease can teach us that. No matter how healthy we may be, no matter what precautions we may take, in the end, we are not as in control of our days as we think. Linked with that, God may simply be reminding us that we are mortal, that this life will come to an end. No matter what you think about the statistics of this disease versus other diseases, the fact of the matter is that lives have come to an end because of this disease. And whether it's coronavirus or cancer, we are reminded we don't have the power to sustain our own lives. They will come to an end. God teaches us these kinds of things, but as Christians, think about what this reminds us of. As church services go from physical to virtual, we're reminded of the privilege and the joy that we have in coming together. We don't just have to go to church. Through a time like this, I hope that we're reminded, I pray that we're reminded that we get to go to church. Our brothers and sisters around the world have to meet in secret and sing in whispers, and we have great freedom here. And great freedom often brings with it great temptation to apathy. Well, may God protect us from that. May God use a time when we're only meeting virtually to remind us what a privilege it is, what a joy it is to meet physically, to gather together, to sing God's praise together, to hear God's word together, to pray together, to encourage one another together, to have your hand shaken by a friend, to be embraced in the warmth of a hug. Those are good things. I'm praying that God will remind us of that and actually give us as Christians a longing to be back together. So we never say, oh, I have to be in church, I have to go to church, but rather we'd wake up that first Sunday we gather and the subsequent Sundays afterwards and say, I get to go to church. I get to be with my church family. But also think about what the opportunity might be in front of you. Think about the margin God might be building back in your life. You may not even remember what margin is. I mean, we are incredibly busy people. When people ask, how was your week? So often we'll say, busy. But with the cancellation of virtually everything, have you ever thought that God might be building margin back into your life for this time so that you use more of your time, more of my time for the most important things, for more time with our families? Maybe time for that Bible study you've been meaning to get to, that Christian book you've been wanting to read, to minister to and to get to know the people who live around you, to serve the widow around the corner, to open your home and show hospitality to others. Just think about the opportunities that this margin has when you don't have to run off to soccer practice or a piano recital or a conference or a concert or whatever it is. Don't give in to the temptation to complain. Think about what an opportunity God has given us. Think about what God may want to teach you. Think about what God may want to remind you of. Think about the opportunities He's laid before you. And let's take advantage of it all. Let's use this time of seeming chaos in our society to intentionally glorify God and do good for others. Stay steady, friends.